Not even gonna test to see if anything works.
Nah, shit. I trust the gear. Brandon, I see,
sir,
you have survived the great Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp outage. What did you do with yourself yesterday when the internet decided that it was just not going to work anymore?
I took the day off, went to the doctors, got interesting news. Yeah, it's okay. It's not anything terrible. Your boy managed to tear a muscle.
Oh,
yeah.
Were you rocking out too hard?
I think it was actually from me lifting weights the wrong way. So I have like where your abdomen is and like your pack and everything.
Yeah.
That line that goes down the center.
Yeah.
Mine has torn.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So some of y'all may think that you're a fat guy. Some of y'all may think you take the Clean Plate Club seriously. Your boy tore his abs. Yeah.
So you were trying to split the six pack and hand out cans to
That's
everybody.
what I'm saying.
You're trying to share. You were trying to share.
There ain't no keg. You can't put a six pack inside a keg. You got to have a keg. That's what I'm talking about. I'm party ready, baby. No. So initially we were planning on just taking the day off after everything on Sunday and just having a chill day in because I don't think we're doing a honeymoon. We haven't talked about it, so I assume it's just one of those like the next vacation we get will be
that'll
honeymoon.
be your honeymoon. Yeah.
Right.
That's how me and Audrey did it.
Yeah, okay, we probably shouldn't just go to work the next day. We should get a chance to like decompress for the day.
Yeah.
And when I was on vacation, things were not right. And I was like, okay, I should probably go get that checked out. And turns out the only day that my doc had available was my day off. So it's kismet, but we'll see how everything goes. So I have no idea if I'm going to need surgery or anything. And we'll figure out how all that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might need to just get like a whole wrap of KT tape and just wrap around your belly.
I'm convinced what actually is going to happen is I'm going to have to get like one of those Shatner girdles.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to just like corset me in and just kind of cinch everything shut. And then I'll just kind of stand real upright, like all tits out and everything the whole time.
Yeah.
So luckily I got the girls for it. So
coming from a non-medical opinion, I feel like that kind of thing should repair itself, with the caveat being it'll repair itself quicker if you don't do anything, which is impossible if it's your abs, because you have to walk around and do stuff.
Right. You have to do stuff and what have you. And like I haven't figured out if it's better for me to try and talk my boss into letting me get like one of those standing desk things. Cause like, I don't know if it's better for me to stand or to sit and the consult to find out what I should be doing and everything else like that. The earliest one is the first week of November.
Jesus. Ugh.
So I guess I'll do what I know I shouldn't do, which is check the wonders of the internet and then hear all of the terrible things.
Well, so, if you were going to use Facebook yesterday, it wouldn't have worked.
That's kind of okay. Though the interesting part to me, and I know this is like tinfoil hat shit, is the fact that
I was going to ask you about that.
They were locked out of the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look, the thing going down, that happens. Like I have a good friend who is a network engineer, and he was like, hey, look, the idea of accidentally erasing some stuff and knocking everything down is super doable. Dumb, but super doable. And I was like, experience? He's like, yeah, it was my first year in.
Oh,
right. So like, dude's just getting his feet under him and then makes a huge mistake on a pretty big scale.
Oh, no.
On a pretty facility. So, yeah. But in turn, the idea of that happening, okay, fine.
Yeah.
When was the last time your door locks ran that way? And then I read somewhere else that supposedly people were locked in, which also questions like, did they not meet fire code with their doors that they should have somewhere that has a safety mechanism to release?
I would have thought, and that was going to be my question.
Were there not any manual unlocks for these doors?
Yeah.
Like that tells me, and again, tinfoil hat officially on and secure, that They locked those doors, and the people who could have gotten them in decided not to let them in and just give them the day off.
Give them the. So that was my question. So in you and I are wrestling fans. In wrestling, there are two terms: work, shoot. Work. A work is a match or an angle that is predetermined. It's thought out. It's part of the script. A shoot is a match or an angle that is not scripted. You just go for it. Shoot wrestling is a big thing.
Yeah.
The worker shoot.
Yeah.
So tinfoil hat, because Sunday 60 Minutes had that interview with the whistleblower.
Right.
Do you think Monday it was a work Facebook going down so that like when the search term, when you Google, it says Facebook gone down instead of Facebook is fucking evil?
I think people are going to do that anyway. And I think if anyone was genuinely shocked by them being evil, they haven't been paying attention. Now, the how evil is a sliding scale based on your interest. The real thing that I think is the concerning part here, and why my tinfoil hat went on, is an expose like that creates more questions than answers. And I don't expect our governing body to do a great investigative thing on that, because I just don't think they're smart enough to outsmart Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's nothing criminal near as I can tell. So they're not in any sort of fear, at least at the moment, of any sort of criminal charges. Now, that being said, if they wanted to hide some evidence that maybe would make them look even worse than what this person knew about, then what you might want to do the day after is claim some internet chicanery, take yourself down, lock the doors, and run a magnet all over everything. Because
get that shredder.
Right. Yeah. Like break out that shredder, run a magnet over everything. Let's get rid of the real bad shit, because frankly, and I know some people are going to be like, Mark Zuckerberg lost like $6 billion. It's not real money. It's paper. It's not like it's digital bullshit. It's stock prices.
Yeah.
He can get that shit back. No problem. And I don't think he's worried about that. I don't think Facebook is necessarily worried about it. They're a fucking juggernaut. A 15% loss is huge in a corporate setting, but also at the same time, like the idea of surviving this thing, what are they going to do? Unless someone breaks them up from being a monopoly.
Yeah.
And I've even heard the argument that they're not a monopoly. I've heard the argument. I disagree with it.
Did you hear that argument on Facebook?
No, I don't. I make it a point not to argue politics on Facebook. The only thing politic related that I tend to weigh in on are Jalopnik articles that will pop up, the car thing,
the car stuff. Yeah.
Because I really, really love pissing off old white guys when it comes to car related shit. And I love it even more when we want to argue about politics on top of everything. So my last one was something like John Deere is having a whole thing, and I don't know, I haven't followed up on it, but basically John Deere, the United Auto Workers Union, is also part of their members also assemble John Deere tractors. And with everything going on right now, with agriculture shortages, with part shortages, what have you, Deere has been under a lot of scrutiny because they've been encouraging the legislation to basically block the ability for people to repair their own vehicles.
Oh, right.
And that includes, farm equipment. So let's take a group of people who are already running on a pretty tight budget when it comes to farmers, and stretch them even thinner so that John Deere can make more money, because it's not like the drive shafts on a John Deere tractor are fucking cheap, but let's force somebody to actually go to a John Deere certified mechanic to be able to even do it. Because you need a specialized tool to get the cover piece off or whatever it is. And I can't imagine what it's like, how much it would have to cost to either have a mechanic come to you or tow a tractor.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
So that aside.
And it's not like you can machine this shit, because what farm has a machine shop?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh, Well, then they should learn how to machine that shit.
And this is the thing is like a lot of the argument has been, if you can't get that thing off, you're not trying hard enough. And they're like, what about your warranty? And you're like, who cares? They never cover anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, fair argument. And then the argument on the back end is all this does is means that we don't buy deer next time. We buy something else.
Yeah.
And so they were arguing about the United Auto Workers Union, insisting basically what ended up happening is a bunch of people got laid off because of COVID and because of just, business and what have you. But John Deere has never had greater profits than what they have right now. But they're also in a negotiation issue with them. And basically their last contract, a bunch of workers that were out of work and laid off decided to agree so this way they could keep their medical benefits instead of actually getting a raise. So they tanked the raise and kept the benefits, and nobody should have to decide in between being paid a fair market value for what you're worth and medical insurance.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's a whole argument by, I'm sure, a ton of people who would argue with me that they have, what they're asking for is not fair market wage. I don't determine that. I don't work for the UAW. I don't work for John Deere. I don't know how much people who assemble tractors should be paid for whatever thing. Not my business. So I don't understand. No, more, not even like I'm staying out of it. More, I don't understand it. Yeah. So I can't speak confidently to say somebody Brandon, who does this should be making this much an hour.
But Brandon, you're on the internet. You have to have confidence in what you're saying.
It's not even that.
Even if you don't know what you're talking about.
This fucking guy who I found who insisted, like the article, the way that they worded it is they said that, quote, this is the worst possible time for Deere management to have a strike happen. Now, I took that as John Deere has had record profits. They've never made more money than they have right now. This dude is like, are you fucking serious right now? The worst time is when they're doing poorly and then they can strike and then they can bankrupt everybody. And I'm like,
they're not. They're doing.
And this guy's like trying to basically call the Jalopnik writer and everybody who responds to him a fucking cuck, like is all over this. And I was like, not for nothing. I understand your perspective on it being bad for the company, but the statement was, quote, this must be the worst time for management, end quote. My perception of that is because they made record profits, they have little to counter argue of not giving the union workers what they ask for. Yeah. There's no reason to deny them.
Yeah.
And like this dude continued to fight with everybody. And he's like, you're fucking wrong. Like the dude immediately just like right back, you're fucking wrong. And like, I never responded to it after that. Cause once we're going, like, I didn't need to respond in the first place, but like my thought process was like, okay, look, I'm not saying he's incorrect. I'm saying he read poorly. Like,
yeah.
And both can be true because we live in a world where two things can be true at the same time. I promise you, even on the internet.
How dare, Brandon? How dare.
I know.
How dare.
And what ended up happening was like a 79 comment fucking shitstorm between everyone else rallying behind this, like me being correct, this dude being a terrible reader, and this guy and a couple other fucking hardcore red staters just banging their chests and talking about, and a ton of people tagging me and be like, fuck the union workers, they're the worst, they're ruining this country, blah, 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 blah. And like, I was so annoyed because I wanted to respond back. And then I realized that what Jalopnik had done is that it turned off the ability to add memes and photos to the comment sections. You're only allowed to just type in what's going on.
Oh, man.
And I decided to look at this guy's profile, and you scroll down and like, he's got a lot of the performative patriotism shit and everything else like that. And he's got the breast cancer awareness stickers and everything, while also being a total shit about absolutely everything, calling out Biden, calling out this, called Kamala Harris a man, like all sorts of terrible shit. Like this guy's a dickhead.
Oh boy.
But I scroll down and this dude just makes a post out of nowhere, like a year and a half ago, right? Just like on a Tuesday in the afternoon, just full stop, just says, Robin Williams isn't funny, period. And then posts it. And like, But the reason I found out you couldn't post photos or memes is because I took a photo of it because I wanted to just post that in the thread and be like, this man's a monster yeah. And you cannot argue with him because he does not live in the same society we all live in.
He's not on this side of the multiverse.
He's not. No, he's a fucking troll. He's a replicant. He's not real.
He's a replicant.
He's a fucking replicant. Like he ain't one of us.
Going
like
for the Stargate.
I stand by the yes. Like I'm full on fucking like the in Mars Attacks, right? When that one alien squeezes himself into the dress in the hourglass dress and the giant fucking head and then chews the nitrate the nitrate gum.
Yeah.
Even they find Robin Williams funny. Are you kidding me? Are you trying to tell me that, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I thought that there was actually a video screen where Robin Williams was literally doing the nanu nanu and them all laughing. Like they actually found Robin Williams funny from my memory. Or maybe I'm just filling in the gaps because everyone finds Robin Williams funny. That's not like you need air to breathe. To die on, Sky's blue, ground's down here. Robin Williams is funny. Yeah. Like we can all fucking agree on that. Yeah. And this fucking cuck on his own personal, not like wants to troll a comedy page full of libtards or whatever the fuck. Like, no, on his own personal page, just has the audacity. So that means what I'm guessing happened is somebody in the lunchroom of the place that supposedly he owns was talking about Robin Williams and everybody was laughing and he made the statement and everybody looked at him like he had something growing out of his head. But also they had to do the, oh, you're entitled to your opinion, boss, because he signs their checks.
Yeah.
And then he decided to just take his shit onto Facebook because he has to be proven right because he's in charge. I'm a job provider now.
I'm a provider.
Right. And like
provider.
Oh my God. So to answer your question, I didn't really miss it. I slept in. I went to the doctor. I watched a little TV. I had some leftovers. Like it was a chill day. So, you know, I feel bad for all of the small businesses that rely on Instagram so heavily because there's a lack of alternatives right now.
Well, and also WhatsApp being down. I didn't realize how many foreign governments used WhatsApp in their communication cycle. I kind of like, Instagram is bad. Facebook going down is bad, but WhatsApp, if that is like one of your main secure means of communication, they need to spin that off. Someone needs to spin that off. And like, you know, you can steal our information, but like spin off WhatsApp, make that its own thing. Cause like, I don't know, that was concerning.
I'm super confused because I thought like, I don't know about you, but I've seen the 1990s action classic starring Val Kilmer called The Saint. And as far as I know, you share encrypted communications on art message boards about museums. That's how that shit works. That's how you do it. Like you post up comments about all sorts of, you know, just like literally the title of the thing of like Michelangelo's the greatest ever, blah, 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 blah. And then the next comment down is like from the spider to the fly. Is the fly available to play? And you're like, okay, we're gonna talk in code. Oh my. Right, yeah, like.
But also, there's a fetish for that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're telling me that foreign governments don't bother with that act of subterfuge anymore? Just Bond's like, motherfucker, WhatsApp's down. God. Well, I guess. Well, Bloomfeld, you won this time. I don't know what to say. Sharks with lasers. That's pretty cool.
That new Bond movie is going to be real awkward.
Right.
Call in. WhatsApp.
Facebook's down. Can we put a time? Is that something we can do? Is that still a thing we're doing?
I'm sorry, Em. I can't.
Yeah. This is a weird time to bring this up, but Who's familiar with the Highlander series and the concept of holy ground? Is anyone else?
Oh God. Oh man. I'm surprised they haven't tried to like do a reboot of that shit.
We've talked about this multiple times.
Yeah.
And I think we're the only ones who really want it.
Yeah.
And dudes with ponytails and fedoras, and I can't give them more than what they already have. You're already the most fuckable, dude. What more do you want?
All right,
what
Brandon,
more do you want?
Well, let's start the show.
Sounds good.
Oh man. Brandon Chalmers, last week's introduction was the best it's ever been.
Yep, and I'm gonna phone it in this week.
Well, so from now on, I'm gonna try to give you a challenge. Can we get an American Dream introduction?
Oh,
can we get some goodness?
Listen here, baby brother. It's the American Dream, Dusty Rose, coming back at you. It is 6:05 in the PM on the Tuesday, and the mothership is landed. We're going to take this podcast to the pay window, and it's going to be a slammer, bammer, jammer, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now, let me butter your bread and get yourself ready, because the greatest thing in the internet, them webs, them spider web, that thing that No Doubt was talking about, that Gwen Stefani jam. See, she been talking about keeping on them spider webs, and on them webs that she be spinning like Charlotte coming down talking to a pig. We talking about the Hard Knock Media Podcasting Network. Now, I'm not talking about no Jay-Z, though I'm a big fan of Little Orphan Annie. That's my favorite one. But anywho, so that means Hard Knock Media. So we're talking about Nerds of Color. There are all kinds of talk shows and all sorts of things talking about. And I don my polka dots and I get myself ready. And I'm hustling and bustling. And when I want to inform myself about all sorts of things going on the internet, baby, I find myself on the Hard Knock Media Podcasting Network website. That's what I'm talking about. Now, with going along with that, the greatest show, if I do say so myself, because it involves me, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and my favorite man on the planet, Jamie, excuse me, and I apologize, Jesus, motherfucking Noguchi, is the fucking Do It Cast. See, because we hang out, we be talking about all sorts of things, talking about tacos and sunrises and internet cucks and elections and what else? Butter bread. God damn, I want a biscuit. Anywho, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So go ahead and just ease it on into your ear holes, because I'm gonna butter your bread, baby. That's right. Put some butter on that mother, talking about podcast. Yeah.
It's done. We're done. That's it. That's the episode. Holy shit. Why did we never do that when we were doing live shows? Like we
no one would tolerate my shit. That's why.
I disagree, sir. I feel like there were two people who were bringing people on, other people on.
Yeah.
None of them were as amusing as that. Like motherfucker.
I thank you, sir. I thank you, sir.
That should have been part of the show. Like, kick those two motherfuckers off the stage. That should have been part of the show. That should have been the show. That should have been the show. Like that was the show. Look at this motherfucker draw a thing and watch how we bring him on. Like bring him on.
To be transparent, though, my version of Dusty is very similar and inspired by the 98 Rock Morning Show, Justin Schlegel's version of Dusty. So I did ape a little bit of that. But so credit where credit is due. If a certain couple people happen to listen to that and hear that, I'm acknowledging it. I get it. But also, I don't remember him bringing up anything about Gwen Stefani. So my brain's a weird place.
Yeah. Also, like Dusty talking about cucks. I was like, you would probably do that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
Do that sounds legit. Man, I miss live shows, and
Yeah.
I feel like our audiences missed out on that. Like that's you can't bottle that up. Like
No, and I have tried, and no one's buying it.
I do not understand. If I get fuck you money, I'm gonna rent a theater.
We're just gonna do that.
We're gonna do this live. Fuck it. The entire show, we're gonna pick random people out of the crowd, and you're gonna talk them up, and we're gonna bring them on stage like they're some big fucking shot. And that's what it'll be. Like it's a karaoke night, except we make you feel good about yourself.
God damn it. I was listening to something similar about this, right? So comedian Adam Ray, who's been on a ton of shit. He played Vince McMahon in that Dwayne Johnson TV show that was on recently.
Oh, I never watched it, but okay.
But yeah, so like prominent comedian, what have you. So he was talking about how comedians who don't know each other bring up other comedians. And apparently he was at like the Comedy Cellar or the store or whatever it is. And Andrew Dice Clay was on before him. And he Dice finishes his thing. And he's like, so who we got next, huh? And they're like, Adam Ray. He's like, Adam who? And then they shot it back at him again. And then Dice, without missing a beat, because he's been doing it for so long, he's like, all right, our next comic is one of the greats. He's your favorite. He's my favorite. You've seen him on everything. Alan Gray. And and Adam's like, God damn it.
That's great though. Like, I don't know. There's something about getting called up on stage really well. Like I've been in situations where it's just your name and you get up on stage and it's like, you got to hype yourself up. But when when the hype man brings you on, get on that train and ride it, baby. Like
that's what I'm saying. Because it sets a tone.
Yeah.
It sets a tone for everyone.
Like when we were at Kineticon and we were hyping the crowd before our announcers got on stage, they could take that energy and just ride that train all through. It's
why I always felt a little bad for the rest of the roster, because I felt like I gave Marty and Russ a fucking banger intro every time.
Yeah. And
then the rest of you get the like, so this person is from hell apparently. And they're royalty and they don't enjoy sunshine. So welcome, Colleen. And you're like, fuck, come on.
That's why I always brought up my partners when I was on the tag team. And that is why, like, whenever I was on the microphone, I made sure to like make it loud and proud and bring the motherfucker. Because like it's a show, and like you're going into it and you're feeling good. Like we're not even on stage right now, and I'm feeling hyped about this. We're not even going to talk about anything. But like,
in all fairness, though, you have a bit of a Pavlovian response to me getting hyped. Yeah. Because you've been hearing me talk people up for years now.
Yeah.
And I will sell you to the fucking moon. Yeah. Like, we got to meet the Pope and I'll be like, look, nice hat. Have you met my fucking friend Jamie?
But I feel like you need that. In especially in a live performance.
Yeah. I always wanted to view myself a little bit of like, I'm the Flavor Flav to your Chuck D. Like, that's just how that works, which is ironic because of the way we both act. Like in our delivery, most of the time, I feel like I'm way more Chuck D, but like in that moment, it's full on role reversal, man. I like, give me the fucking clock. I'm in.
Yeah. Like if we end up going to cons and doing panels, like I don't want them to call me up. I'll just bring you on stage and you can bring us up. And then like, it could be a panel about like, drawing panels or like, I don't know, stupid shit, but I need someone to talk it up. Cause that's what you don't get at the Comic-Con panel. You get hello, my name is so-and-so. I've been drawing this thing for years. Here's my demonstration. Instead of like, the
ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for the one man that makes Scott Adams look like Rob Liefeld's stepson.
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't even make any sense.
No, it doesn't, but you need that shit. You need that shit. That's the difference between like a YouTube tutorial and being in the audience at a show.
Yeah, the only man who understands absolutely every single Common Writer entrance since 1979 to this day now. Go ahead, raise your hand if you think you know more. We're going to battle you later.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. I miss going to shows, Brandon.
I know. There has been a real desire of like, man, I got the fucking itch. And I'm aware it's just because I'm restless in other parts of my world right now where it's like, okay, it's time. It's time for me to do the thing.
Yeah. There's a little FOMO. I've seen shots of people we know going to other places, and I'm just like,
yeah.
As soon as Smushy gets her vaccine, we've been reckless. We're not being reckless. We ain't doing shit.
No.
But the desire is there. The desire is there.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Brandon Chalmers.
Sir.
You have recently rejoined the administration club.
I have, though it's upstairs. Yeah.
How's it feeling? Tell us about the day. Like, what is it like to like have a very, 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 very small ceremony? Like, people know about like the big days and the big weddings, but I feel like nobody ever talks about like the smaller experience of just, we're doing it this way because we got other priorities.
It's a ton of work. Because we did it at the house. So you are okay. So I don't know about you, but I used to make it a point to invite people over to my home every so often, just as an excuse to like really fucking panic deep clean. Because like I hadn't done it in a while, and it makes me really paranoid that I don't want to look like a slob to everybody. And like, I get the idea. We all have a little bit of funk in our shower, and the kitchen counters could probably use another wipe down or what have you. But like one of those, you forget and you start leaving like books by the door, or your mail's starting to pile up, and like we all do it. At least I don't know anyone who is that like religiously clean about that. I'm sure there are people who are. No shot at you. I ain't one of those people. And I tend in my social life to surround myself with artists, and most of them are not those people.
No,
like
that's why the camera's facing this way and not that way.
Right. That's the idea. You keep your area nice and presentable. So like I get that, and that makes sense to me. So I don't think I've criticized or scrutinized my home more than I did leading up to that. If that makes sense. Let me try and be diplomatic about this. I genuinely enjoyed having a lot of loved ones in my home. There was a little bit of awkwardness going on because of some people who were there but didn't seem super thrilled about the thing as a whole, which is fine. That's okay. We bring the people there that no, I'm not going to answer your question. Don't do it.
They don't can keep that shit to themselves and complain in the car ride to and from.
See, and I would be okay even if they didn't had they no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. Not publicly. I'm not going to do it. There's too much chance of too much of an argument. I'm not going to do it.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
I gave people a chance to air their grievances well beforehand when I specifically asked, would you like to discuss anything? And nothing was said. So
they missed their chance.
If I give you a chance, and anyone who knows me knows this,
you got to say it.
I will genuinely broach the awkward potential of things not being great or there being an issue, what have you. And I'll look you dead in the eye and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't peep up then,
you ain't a mind reader.
No, I please understand, I'm pretty good at reading situations. I'm real good at reading body language. There's a certain point though where I stop caring that you're a coward. Like, cause it's never going to be a thing. Like, cause I'm left with either I feel awkward around you forever, or I lead you to say something that you don't want to say in the first place. And then we both lose. Like why? So, I love my wife. She is the best part of my world. She is the reason the sun rises, as far as I'm concerned. I will fucking fight that in perpetuity. And I awesome. Cannot wait until I get to actually do the you don't speak to my wife that way. Because that's an urge, like from down deep. Like that's some Mariana's Trench desire going on.
Two things. One, I think your wife may be a genius because so she leaves half empty drinks or half drunk drinks around the house
everywhere.
Now there is another person that we know who does this, who is a fucking genius. Johnny Rockstar, Johnny Shryock.
Okay.
Glasses of water, half drunk glasses of water all around his house.
Yeah, but that's just because he's doing hardcore parkour everywhere. Because I assume that guy doesn't just walk from room to room. He like handsprings and shit. And then I get the idea, like that wears you the fuck out. So at any time you fucking stick the Olympic landing, hands up, the dog holds up a sign, says like 8.5, and you're like, yeah, all right, I'll take that. Transition from the kitchen to the dining room ain't exactly a big buildup. I can't get that kind of rotation. Yeah. And then you look over and you're like, hey, refreshing H2O, and you fucking straight up water boy that shit. Yeah. Right. And like kill the glass, put it down, look right at that's my hack out of the H2O, and then fucking just cartwheel your way out of the room. Right. Yeah. I got to go shoot something or other or go do pull-ups with 100 pounds around my waist. Yeah. I got shit to do.
I wanted to let you know that he does the same thing and he's a genius.
Yeah.
So Nicola's a goddamn genius.
No, I get it. I'm not confused about that. What I am confused about is when there's this much liquid in the bottom, make a life choice. Like there are sinks everywhere. You can just kill it. Like I don't care what the answer is, but for the love of God, just kill it.
And then the other question I had: are you going to refer to her as my wife, or are you going to call her by? Are you going to call her by her name?
So weird thing. So when we first got together, I racked my brain to try and find a nickname for her. And I still haven't done it because I don't want to call her Nick, and Cole ain't very good.
Holy Cole.
And right. Yeah. And like
dog.
Yeah. And then I thought like, what was it when she was growing up?
Nikki.
I think her family used to call her like Oli Oli Oli. Like as in Nicole Oli Oli. So then it just shortened to Oli Oli Oli. To which I then, for probably a week after that, would just wander around the house like a fucking soccer stadium, just doing the ole, 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 ole.
Ole, ole, ole,
right. She'd be like, what? What do you want? I'd be like, hi, how are you? And they just walk away. Ole, ole. Because I'm a dickhead. But yeah, I haven't really figured out a good one. Like we just end up kind of doing the cutesy pet names. Like nothing real good yet. Like I'm convinced there's going to be something. I threatened to call her Gull for a while.
Gull.
Yeah. I love her to death, but she is gullible as fuck.
Oh.
The amount of times that I have confidently said something that has nothing, like we'll be talking about a topic and it like I basically play like, what is it, 2 truths and a lie?
Yeah.
With almost every conversation we get into something specific just to see if she catches it. And I'll usually I'll hit one, and if she doesn't pick up on it, I'll double down on it until she's like, wait, really? And I was like, no.
You don't call her champ? She still got the belt.
I mean, I should, but you have to defend that shit, and you have to schedule a show to defend that shit. So
that's not her fault.
No, I get it. I get it. I mean, I did tell her that she had to wear the belt though to get the acknowledgement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm hoping once everything happens and like the shows start back up, we're going to cut a bunch of videos about her being the longest reigning and defending art fight champion over and over again. And we just basically do a bunch of matches where like, we just do like put together footage where it's like pieces of paper and me being like, I challenge you. Just like I get to do, there's going to be a whole bunch of things. I'm going to do one where it's like blood sport, where I'm going to like take her, like the marker, and I'm going to shake it at her. And then we'll do, right. And we'll do a Black Panther thing. We'll like, I get to be M'Baku and just, right. It's going to be great.
So you had people over, a very small, select, elite group of people, the VIPs, as it were.
Yeah. So this was her, a couple of people from her family, what would have been my best man, and his wife and kids, and her maid of honor and her husband, and then the officiants, who we had the Charm City Shinobi Dan Malahome, his wife, and their son. So it was good. And Dan, true to form, gave a very short and very sweet speech, which was really nice. And then, you know how like there's the whole thing of like, dearly beloved, and you get to be full on Prince or whatever it is. And I wasn't sure whether or not Dan was actually going to do the Prince thing.
Yeah.
But basically he like looked at her, was like, do you? And looked at me, was like, do you? And I was like, yeah, sounds good.
Get it on.
Right. And he was like, cool, we're done. Go ahead. And like, I kissed her and he just started signing paperwork. Jamie, what I learned here is that she went and got the marriage license. Dan signed everything. And I wasn't required to sign anything. I got married and I didn't have to be involved. Like,
that's how it goes sometimes.
Not at all.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Right. But that means that I don't know why she would in the first place, but if she wanted to full on go misery with my ass and break my leg, she could marry me with a simple search of like some documents, and that's it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's like
pro tip for anyone in Maryland.
Yeah. Pro tip. Turns out you don't actually need anyone's consent. You just have to pretend. Marriage. Yeah.
Was there dancing? Was there a hoedown in the living room?
Nope.
No
dancing.
Room?
No dancing. There was very little music. I was cooking the whole time. Did burgers, hot dogs, corn on the cob, pasta salad. Kept it simple. Everybody got real quiet when food came out, so I assumed the food was good. Nobody complained about it. Dan's wife Allison made cupcakes for us with homemade peanut butter frosting. Ooh, fuck. Oh, and your boy got pies. I finally got pie at my wedding. See, because the last time we requested pies, and there were pies that were purchased, and then there was this grandstanding ass thing. We need cupcakes. Cupcakes are the real sweet thing. We can get cupcakes. And the like 9 pies that we ordered all got eaten first, and I never got any fucking pie. Sure were a lot of fucking cupcakes left over, but anyway.
That's a sign.
Yeah. Now, these cupcakes were very tasty and homemade, and I have no complaint. I decided to have both because I'm a fatty and it's my day too.
I mean, that's what you have to do. Like,
yeah,
if you have both,
right? When both are available, eat both. It's not a difficult concept.
Eat both. When they ask us what kind of meat we want at Iron Age, we say both.
Yes.
What do you mean both?
We just say yes.
You see all of these.
Yes.
Give them to us.
Yes. Just start. You know what? Dealer's thing. Start anywhere. Why don't you just go in the back and just spin the menu around, and whatever the chef goes, let's go with that.
Keep throwing it at us.
Yeah.
When there's both, you eat both.
Yep.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. And that was it. Like, we basically hung out for a while, and we have some beverages, and people hung out for a bit, and we BS'd and we hung out outside, and Dan Allison's son Miles absolutely kept us all very entertained. That kid's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
The Seuss was super good with all of the kids, including Miles, which is rad.
Yeah.
So him's a good boy.
Seuss.
And other than that, like, it was really fucking chill, man. Like, it genuinely was what I thought it was going to be. It's a barbecue with paperwork. Like literally, like everyone was kind of sitting outside. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess we should probably actually like get married. And like I walked out and was like, hey, before we eat, want to like kick the tires and light the fires and knock out this paperwork? Dan's like, cool, bring it outside. And I was like, all right.
Bloop, bloop.
Yeah. Done, and done.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
Man, now I kind of want to get ordained.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue that, but yeah, big weddings are for some people and not for everybody. And hopefully you and your significant other can figure out what works best for both of you.
Yeah.
But this was nice in the sense that what we really wanted to do was, how did Dan put it? Your lives together are a journey, and you didn't start off in the car together, but you definitely picked each other up. And this is just one exit, not the actual destination. It's a stop.
Yeah.
And the idea of it being kind of a like, yep, okay, cool, let's do the thing and let's move forward. Doing it really low key really did feel like one of those, in the spirit of the whole point of why we decided to do it the way we did it.
Yeah.
We made it as chill as it needed to be because we didn't want it to be this big pomp and circumstance thing. For us, it is not going to change our lives. We were already living together. Yeah. We already had the same set of goals. Like we both needed to get up and go to work today without a thought. Like it's just going to be what it's going to be. Right. Yeah. So like, because I think we didn't have that, like what I view as almost like a foolish sense of wonder about marriage, where it was like, marriage is going to change everything. It's like, no, it's not. You guys are going to file your tax paperwork and you get to like, she gets to deal with changing her name if she chooses to do so. And that whole debacle. By the way, I learned apparently there are services now that just help you out with that. And had I known that
in the ass, but
had I known that it was going to cost less than $100 to get it done, and it wouldn't have caused a huge multi-month complaint, God damn it, I wish I'd have known the last time, because they wouldn't shut the fuck up about that. But also, they really shouldn't make it that difficult. So
no, they shouldn't. The name thing is bullshit.
Yeah, it's fucking silly. Like, yeah, we put way too much stock in that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That sounds perfect.
It was super chill, and like we're still doing like the reception kind of thing in a little bit to like get everybody together, but that just means that's going to be even more chill, that everybody's just going to be able to kind of walk in and go, hey, and big hugs. And we all eat a big dinner and we all hang out and it's just really chill and we all get to have a good time. It turns just the volume way down.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way it should be. And apparently like, and this is probably due to the pandemic, but a lot of weddings, like from what I've heard from the industry, from my industry friends, is that like the weddings are being scaled down anyway. Just like people are spending less. They're definitely spending less on photographers because everybody has like pretty decent cell phones and shit.
Yeah. Like yeah. I assume that sort of thing is going to happen. And depending on how you go about some things, like that may have been one of those things where you're like, I'd really like to have that. And when we were talking about actually having like the proper wedding and the whole nine, everything, the photography was a really big deal for her. But when we moved the date and everything and the photographer that she wanted wasn't available, it was like, what do you want to do? And she's like, let's not worry about it. And I was like, okay.
Nice.
Just throwing it out there. She's like, don't worry about it.
We could stage photos after.
I think weirdly doing all of this gave her a lot of perspective and kind of let her do the like, okay, well, what really is important?
Yeah.
And it's like, kid, just whatever the list is, that's fine. Just tell me what that list is. And as we got closer and closer, she was just like, nope. And I was like, okay, cool.
I just need the paperwork and we're done.
Yeah, like I'm good. Like you just tell me how many people I'm feeding and like, do I need long pants? Like, I assume I need long pants. No one gets to see my knees today is pretty much my understanding, right? Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my dude.
it's starting off on the right foot. It feels like it, even with the doctor visit the next day.
Yeah, even with my weird complications and everything else like that. And honestly, since I had such a hit or miss with my half brother, I'm hoping that there's some sort of like secondary twin in here, and I'm gonna get another chance at this whole thing.
You have a Quado. You have a Quado in your
Quaid.
Quaid
Like,
in your
hey,
brother.
right? Like, and honestly, like I like button-down shirts. So if I have to switch to a strictly button-down shirt, sort of like a uniform sort of thing to let him kind of hang out,
give him a little bow tie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll dress him up, little top hat and everything. They got all sorts of little costumes for cats and everything else like that. It'll totally work for them.
Nice. I mean, that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm super good with that.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, hang on, because I'm gonna forget it. So I was flipping through and I came across a news story that I wanted to talk about. So this was put up on September 16th, so I'm a little far behind of this year. And ABC News 7 in San Jose, California reported that apparently using technology created, sorry, let me quote this. This is from their website, ABC News 7 website. Quote, using technology created by a Bay Area scientist, CRISPR, CRISPR,
I've heard of this.
Startup Colossal wants to bring back the woolly mammoth. The project already has 15 million in funding, and the technology may actually be there to make it happen. Long before the Shark Tank or the Tower Hall were in San Jose, another giant stood tall. In 2005, Roger Castillo was walking his dog along the Guadalupe River when he made a mammoth discovery. It turned out to be the remains of a 10,000-year-old Colombian mammoth. This discovery showed the largest of the mammoth species once roamed Silicon Valley. So apparently the Children's Museum took the fossils. They created a display of it. It's a child, it's a young mammoth. So it only stands like 10 or 12 feet tall, but it's pretty complete. And then they use like a wire mesh to simulate the rest of the outline on the backside of it. So you basically get like a silhouette of what it would actually look like with skin on, and then get a real clean chance to look at the skeleton and everything. And they also have a mammoth statue like outside that you can stand next to and get up on and touch and what have you. And in the news story that I watched, they referenced Jurassic Park and the idea of them. Now they interviewed the scientist, and this guy was basically like, oh yeah, I mean, we genetically modify animals all the time. And I'm like,
all the time?
Look, I don't know. I'm not, despite wearing a lab coat on multiple occasions and goggles, I am not a scientist. I am simply a science enthusiast. I'm Bill Nye.
Caveman.
Yeah, I'm a simple caveman. I do not understand your scientific ways. Now, the point that I'm making, though, is I've seen enough of these fucking movies. 2027, you want to have mammoths walking around? Now, here's the crazier part. The goal is to create a population and release them in the wild to help control the overgrown plants in the Arctic to be able to help with global warming. We are going to fucking straight up share this situation. We are going to turn back time. We are going to find a way, and we are going to make mammoths here to stay. And we're going to send them out to go eat a bunch of plant life. And all I could think is, can we not send out some people with some battery operated fucking weed whackers and take some of these plants out ourselves? Do we not have, are there not woolly cows? Yaks? Are yaks not available to help us out with this?
Goats will eat anything. Just
That's
get a herd of fucking goats.
Just are you worried about that whole? Hang on, let me make sure I get this right. Yada 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 yada. Let's see. Okay, so the scientists' plan, quote, the scientists' plan is to is to repopulate the Arctic with mammoths to help counteract the effects of climate change. Right now, the Arctic plant life is out of balance, resulting in more carbon emissions. The mammoths use to maintain the balance and hope that they can do it again. But to quote Jurassic Park, just because we could doesn't mean we should.
But also, the fucking plants in the Arctic are not contributing as much as other sources. So I feel like that is a low thing to like, of the things that you could do to change and help the client.
That is science looking for a reason to make shit they shouldn't. Like,
yeah, that is a dumb fuck reason.
That is like, oh, well, we have mice, so let's get cats. Well, we've got cats, let's get dogs. Well, we've got dogs, let's get wolves. Like, it's the fucking children's book. And my question is once you make mammoths, right? And then you're like, well, what we need is a hardier big cat population to control the mammoths.
No.
Right? So then we make saber-toothed tigers, right? Hear me out. This is perfectly fine. Right, yeah. So then we make Yellow Rangers, and then like the problem just solves itself. It's perfectly fine. So like, my question is, where does it stop? Because once you make mammoths, at what point are we doing the conversation where I get to hear Robert Muldoon basically talk about how they should all be eradicated, and we're talking about velociraptors? How long, Jamie? How long? How long?
Hopefully we'll be dead.
I'm not so sure, because if we get mammoths by 2027, what I feel real confident about is that we're way more interested in cool shit than practical shit.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, because like we don't check the ocean. We're like, let's go back to space. It's like, I mean, no. Right. Yeah. And clearly no one has watched the fucking movie The Abyss, because we're going the wrong way. Now, I just don't understand, Jamie, why we're doing this. We're educated. Like, these are educated people. Like, scientifically, they're educated people. Like, are you trying to tell me that everyone who works in this lab who's going to make a mammoth a thing is like the fucking Ben Carson when it comes to brain surgery? We're like, here's what I understand. Mammoths need to walk the earth to be able to solve climate change. Now, I don't want to talk about long division or how to order a pizza. I can't do either.
I don't know.
Right. Like,
I don't know.
It
sounds real bad. It sounds
what
real
the
bad.
Fuck, Jamie?
Sounds real bad, Cotton.
What the fuck? Do we need to? Is this going to be the next movie where we're going to actually have like a sweeper team go out and we're gonna have to take out the scientists that are going to make the mammoth? Because like, look, I'm not saying you're going to end up with some time traveling like Scott Bakula quantum leap shit. But like, if we find out from Ziggy that this is the reason the quantum leap actually happens because we make mammoths, and next thing you know, Scott Bakula is like, I have to leap until I find myself in the scientists who made the mammoths and then jump off a fucking pier. Like, it's my only option.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. It's just, yeah.
Right. Because like, my question is, where does it stop? Are megalodons the next thing? Can we make giant fucking sharks?
Yeah. I mean, that would be the natural progression. You would do we got the mammoth. Now we need a megalodon.
Right.
I mean,
and what we really need is to find out whether or not there is a fucking plesiosaur in Loch Ness by introducing an actual plesiosaur into Loch Ness. Because if we put one in there, right, the loch's only but so big, right? And if it goes out and it starts doing battle with another plesiosaur, we'll have solved one of science's greatest riddles and also created a live action monster movie. And I don't care who you are. Yeah, that's fucking cool.
That is way better than a fucking mammoth.
That's fucking cool. Yeah. Like genuinely, that's Jamie. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's start one of these fucking funding campaigns where we don't have access to scientists, but we feel like we can talk them into it. We want to put a plesiosaur in Loch Ness to finally answer the question, or increase tourism.
Yeah. Because you're not getting tourists to go up to Antarctic to watch a mammoth eat some plants. But
no, you are. No, you are. Please understand. There are some fucking white ass cruise ship riding motherfuckers that will absolutely sit on a fucking rocking ass hotel to make their way out there to go fucking stare at the giant elephants on the ice floe. That's 100% possible. But I'm saying it's not nearly as fun because they don't get the Scottish accents and all of the lore that goes along with it.
The loch.
Jamie, I'm here to promote haggis sales because the haggis is the time of the haggis is now. It's going to happen. Yeah. Haggis sales are actually going to double, which doesn't seem like a lot, but God damn it, I get enough people there. I'm going to change those numbers.
It's haggis's time.
It's haggis's time.
We've had fancy cupcakes. We've had the cronut. We've had shishito peppers.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is for haggis. That's right. I'm gonna make haggis. I'm gonna play the John Cena theme, and I'm gonna inspire it to be the next great superfood.
We're gonna find out if Nessie's there, and we're gonna get haggis. Haggis is gonna be the next thing. I mean, it's done. It's done. And we're not going to lie and say some dumb bullshit that we're going to make a plesiosaur to help the environment. No. We have goals.
I assume actually,
and we're doing this thing.
It's going to fuck up the environment of the loch because I don't understand how you feed a fucking plesiosaur with what is in a stationary body of water that doesn't allow any sort of migration of fish. Yeah. So like, I assume plesiosaurs are just going to decimate the bird population, which is going to be its own thing to watch. Of just like, yeah, that's like I am shit. Like I can tell you right now, Jamie. My first article in response to this, when somebody is really mad at me, is I am plesio so sorry about what I did to the loch. I really am
so sorry. Oh my God.
Now, did I prep all of that and create a goddamn dinosaur just to make that terrible joke? You'll never know. You'll never know. I did. You'll never know.
Oh, fuck. Brandon Chalmers, where can people find you?
You can find me weirdly on the reestablished Instagram at that guy Chalmers. Jamie Noguchi, where can they find you?
Also on Instagram at Jamie Noguchi. Twitter at Angry Zen Master, and wherever you find this podcast, which I keep uploading it to Facebook. I don't know why, but you know,
it seems to get a pretty
there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching it there, but that's just because it pops up and I'm like, oh hey,
because it's lazy. It's us.
Yeah. Yep.
Bam.
There's one thing I love. It's the sound of my own voice. So,
all right, B. Congratulations,
kids.
Congratulations,
thanks, buddy. Hey, be excellent to each other. Okay. Stuff out there.